Sia ni kobe program igena na twala. Anyang tumuga ahanda boto.
Hala giya wala twi gvali vigo. Te pega gala twi gvali vigo ga. Ge yali do bon to letu. Be ko ya yame ana.
Mami is one of the 1,073 community members who have seen the impact of diarrheal diseases. Mothers had to keep their children home from school due to diarrhea-related illnesses, and the community were losing loved ones due to poor sanitation. Today, Mami and her community have seen a 73% reduction in diarrheal disease after they completed their sanitation project. In Tentihun and Nanyahun, the NOW programs are making a significant agricultural impact and fostering financial literacy and household decision-making. In the past year, 100% of participants achieved the financial goal they set at the beginning of the program.
Now program it a vi vima. Kagala program it a go boma. Say when una set a business anya nite ya to wataga malo, kotitena vuto business na aya anya nite ya. This say gwanya ligoma. Market TV ka na vi to take care mo. Nya fu ya ye business na ye to wet mo gani.
Ala ga se gwa goma. Ga se gwa OVP ma. Ka na owe umu ga ala. Owutiro ana fawa mova nyava so kana umugala anemo evianyawe gaga ege gagu ganye pe gagu ganya ma ande si ayela hala penya ge agriculture ege yewo kesiana na gago ga pe gago ga nikie ya gahi gatage hin ga amaga pitela
Mwanya ni sia pebo vaya wela moya gewa o mwanya ni goya eyemwe ka ha afoji na o ga jigu pega mwanya ni goye na omweta mowe bu gbate ga vi pada dada mole ga pe mo woya mati ma hilo ma mi ti wu mati ma lo mo e pe ga lo pe na o ga e pe fa won.
OneVillage Partners is committed to creating sustainable, thriving communities in Sierra Leone. Join us in making an impact.
Just from a practical standpoint, I'm curious as to what kind of an interface you have with the government. What kind of relationship?
Yeah, we are registered in Sierra Leone as a nonprofit, so we In the communities where you are working in, are there any people that were affected by the civil conflict where people's limbs were cut off?
Not currently. That was back in the 90s, and most of those folks were settled in Freetown, the capital, and there were some nonprofits that worked with them on job training and taking care of them. So I haven't seen that in our villages.
Okay, thank you.
Are any of the villages equipped with a school program for the kids?
Yes, all the villages have a school. Some of them in different conditions, so we often help with improving the school and providing teacher training and things like that. In fact, Ann was on and Kathy were on our education committees here when we first started that. So we do have a lot of educational work that goes on. Any other question?
This is kind of a political question, but how has the present federal government and its policies with aid and so forth affected what Sierra Leone does, if anything?
Yeah, it's a little hard for me to tell, but I think since the war in 2001, they had an election. It's been a democracy that Britain and the U.S. have supported, and they've developed, voting systems throughout the country. So it's been a peaceful democracy since 2001, and it's a 5-year presidential term. What happens is someone gets elected 5 years, they get familiar with that person, they re-elect that person, and then it switches to the other party in the next election. So it's gone back and forth a couple times. Generally, I'm sure there's some variability in the quality of the leadership, but generally they're working, I feel like, to move things forward in the country in terms of improving the education process slowly, improving the healthcare system and the infrastructure systems of the country.
I guess what I was wondering is OVP has established a track record in Sierra Leone, and to what extent does our federal government, since January, undermine or alter what the Sierra Leoneans think of OVP?
Oh, I haven't noticed any change. I mean, they trust and love our work in Sierra Leone, and the community is really, every community wants us to work in their community. So we have a very good reputation, starting with the Peace Corps, right, with trust, and us trusting them, and them trusting us, and then it spreads from there. And we have all of our staff in Sierra Leone are Sierra Leonean, the country director, and 60 people who work with her in the villages because they speak the local language and know their culture, and they're very proud to develop their own country, and they do an amazing job. So the people locally love our staff and our work. So we want Sierra Leoneans doing all the work, and our job is just to partner with them to help them get the resources that can help them. But it's the lottery of life, right? We were born here, and yeah, we're not 100% happy with our country, but boy, it's not a bad spot given the rest of the world. And when you're born in Sierra Leone, it's tough. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. Your chance of living past 5 is maybe 60%. Your chance of dying during childbirth is 1 in 7. So it's a dangerous place to live. Not dangerous violence, but danger from a health standpoint. So, they're hardworking, joyful people, just working hard to improve their lives. And we're trying to give them the opportunity to do that.
I get a chance to jump in, I guess. Speaking of health, I think one of your great triumphs really was in your villages during the Ebola crisis. I think your villages managed to work together, and you had almost no deaths. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. We were, I think, in maybe 10 or 12 villages at the time, and there were a lot of rumors. If you can imagine what it was like here, right? Imagine like a less educated country where rumors just fly around about, oh my gosh, don't let your family go to the hospital because that's where everyone's dying.
Well, you just sparked I'd like to invite you to go deeper on telling that story, if you would, because I think one of the hardest things for an outsider to do is to come in and suggest that a cultural practice be done differently. So how did you overcome some of those local cultural traditions that were impeding the healthcare?
Well, it was just a lot of discussions with our staff and the communities over and over, and it took time. At the beginning, people didn't trust because they were hearing all these different things, and they were seeing in other villages people being carried away, and it took time. But it wasn't easy, but it was just a continuous process of education and discussion. And I mean, I wasn't there doing it, so I don't have a lot of details, except that fortunately the staff was able to continue to build the trust, and the community eventually kind of came along and said, okay, and they saw that they stayed safe. That's right, stuff. Tricky, especially the places you travel. Yes, Anne.
At that time, did you have still a majority of people from Africa as the people who were part of Sierra Leone in Africa?
Yes.
That would help credibility.
Yeah, OneVillage in Africa has always been almost all Sierra Leone. We've had one or two. We had like 2 Canadians and maybe an American at the most, like 3 out of like 40 or 50 people. And now all 60 or 65 are all Sierra Leone, including the country director. And she's fantastic.
Were you originally in Sierra Leone as a Peace Corps volunteer?
Yes.
Okay,
I lived there for 2 years in 1987 to 89.
okay. So were you somewhat able to build upon some of those relationships?
Yes, that's why we started our work.
Okay, thank
After
you.
the war, we went back
Okay,
and helped them
good.
rebuild, and that's our work. Kathy Wellington, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to make a comment. I think this whole partnership and everything that has been accomplished is heavily impacted by you. And when we were in Sierra Leone almost 20 years ago, I'll never forget our final time of being with all the members of the 3 villages, and we were in a great big circle, and we'd all been given these lovely tunics to wear. And Jeff was lifted up by the villagers and carried around and said, "This is our paramount chief." And absolutely that spirit, it is so unique to, I know about quite a few nonprofits, and yours is the best. And it's because of what you've done and your total trustworthiness and confidence in all your good friends there. It's really, really remarkable. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Kathy. It's very nice of you. And I will say that it's not, I mean, when we went back after the war, the people in my village said, "Wow, Mr. Jeffrey, you were our friend in the Peace Corps, and we've had a lot of people come to Sierra Leone, but you came back. You didn't forget about us." And that's not me. That's just like the human connection, right, of caring for people, just like you do for family and friends here. Like, you came when we needed you, and that continues to build that trust. And of course, I couldn't do what we all do together without all of the people loving and supporting me and these people in Sierra Leone. That's why I take friends that meet the people in Sierra Leone, because you fall in love with them, and because they're amazing people. So anything we can do to create more love and connection and bridges among people makes the world a better place, right? That's why we're here, I think. So thanks to all of you and Plymouth Church for being an incredible partner and helping. That's why OneVillage Partners exists.
Jeff, I had a question about when you're in Peace Corps in the village, were you alone there or were there others? That's number one.
I was alone, yes.
You were, okay. And then I guess number 2, I've got 3. So number 2, were there other Peace Corps volunteers that eventually went there? Number 3, is Peace Corps involved anymore in Sierra Leone?
When I was there were about 100 or maybe 200 Peace Corps volunteers around the country. I had other Peace Corps volunteers 3 and 10 miles from me. So, you know, I'd see them once in a while, but not often. I was on my own in my village, which I loved. And no other Peace Corps came to my village after I was there because of the war in the 90s. The Peace Corps came back in 2006, I think, or 7, and they currently have 125 people in the country working as teachers and healthcare workers. So I think it's teaching science and math, and then healthcare workers. So I'm really happy they're back. They're doing a great job. I think the Peace Corps program is one of the best things we have as a country, to be honest. It's very inexpensive. It hasn't been destroyed, thankfully. And it just sends Americans around the world, and they make friends, and countries love the people they meet. So it's just it's creating bridges, and it's just fantastic. So encourage any of your kids or grandkids. It's the best way to start life. It helps you be better at whatever you do next. Doctor, lawyer, teacher, Bryce Hamilton, right? You were a Peace Corps volunteer. It's just a great way to start life because you learn how to get things done in a difficult situation and how to connect with people.
Jeff, I want to know what the impact of the Chinese are having there in terms of building roads and also wanting to mine resources.
Yeah, China's very active in Africa and around the world. And I wouldn't say they're real popular. Countries like that they offer to build roads and build soccer stadiums. But then, like in Sierra Leone, they build a nice highway, but they bring in Chinese workers to do the work. So it's not creating local employment. It's a way of employing Chinese people. And then they set up a toll system and get paid back for the road. So, you know, I hate to see the way we're kind of retrenching a little bit. I wish we were still out there advocating in the way that we have in the past, and I hope we'll get back to that. But so China's doing a lot, but it's for their own self-interest and their own economic benefit and their own power. I don't see them making a lot of friends necessarily.
I was inspired by the Peace Corps conversation, just to share that I'm way older than you, and I spent my junior year of college in Kenya, which was, on the other side of Africa, but I recognize a lot of what you talk about. I was there in the 1970-71 school year, and that was at the height of the Vietnam War, and America was not a popular country at that time. Okay. And the people that I went to the University of Nairobi with had all come through schools where there were Peace Corps volunteers in their villages. Yeah. And they had such a warm and positive welcome for me and other, there were like 20 American students out of, a couple thousand students on this campus, but we all were received royally because of the Peace Corps.
That's nice, yeah.
And I that was a long time before you were serving, but it was, 10, 15 years into the Peace Corps, and even then it was saving our reputation and establishing some really
Many
good
leaders
things.
of countries were taught by Peace Corps volunteers when they were growing up. So yeah, it's been a great program, and hopefully we'll continue it. Well, thank you so much for coming today. OneVillage Partners, we're fighting extreme poverty and working with amazing people. So thank you for your interest and your support, and sign up if you're interested in being on our mailing list, or if you want to come to the breakfast on October 7th. It'll be a fun event. We'll have a bunch of Plymouth people there too. And I promise that it'll be a great way to start your day on October 7th with a lot of optimism and hope, and feel part of changing the world. Thanks for coming today.
Jeff, before I let you go, since we've got a few minutes, there are two programs that I wanted you to delve deeper into, if you could. The Now program.
Yeah.
Given the cultural background, how has that program managed to overcome cultural barriers and become such a momentous program for both women and their partners?
That's a good question, Jackie. Thanks for asking that. So a lot of the programs that come to villages, like training programs, technical training or agriculture training, the men are the ones that sign up and get trained, right? Because the women are just, due to their culture, a little more shy, and the men kind of take over. So we have this program for the women, and it gives them a lot of confidence to speak up in public meetings and participate. And we have days when we train the women for a while, and then we have family day where the husbands can come in, because the husband's like, well, what are you doing with my wife, and what are those women doing together? They get suspicious. But then they come in and they see what they're learning, and then they become really grateful. You are training my wife to become a business person, and we are so happy about that. And I'm learning from my wife. And that's why in the video, if you saw the one woman, she's like, I love my husband. Like, we always had tension before because we didn't have enough money, and I blamed him for drinking and his girlfriend, and he blamed me for spending too much money on clothes. Some things across cultures. But when the program brings people in and they start talking more about family planning and doing it together and setting goals together and sitting down with your kids, and what started out as a financial planning program turned into a family strengthening program. So it brings families closer together, improves communication, and it improves their financial situation. So that's how that's evolved. It's become very popular, and it's not controversial at all. The other programs that men are all very involved in, so men get lots of opportunity to improve their villages as well. But the Now program does a great job. We have 2 or 3 curriculums. One is the basic budgeting and finance. The other one is small business. I think we'll have one on like healthcare for women in particular, and it's a training program with a picture-based curriculum that can, evolve over time and teach different things. So we'll continue to evolve that, and that's a curriculum that other nonprofits in other communities are interested in too. So we partner in different parts of the country with other nonprofits, not on all of our programs, but like the Now program. We start with that sometimes.
That's amazing. And the other thing I wondered about was you've grown exponentially. Do you recruit other villages, or do villages come to you and say, I see what's going on there and I want to?
Yeah, no, we don't recruit. Lots of villages come to us. As soon as you start working in one village, all the villages around, family and friends in other villages, they all want to. So there's huge demand, right? There are thousands of villages in the country. We're in 70. So there's a lot of work to do. It's all driven by the money we have in order to go to new villages. So we're still small. We're like $1 million. That's not that much, right, to work with 70,000 people. But our goal with our new executive director is to really get back to 10 to 15% growth a year, so we can reach towards 2 million and 5 million, because we really want to be in the whole country, so that the whole country can continue to move forward and progress.
Maybe you addressed this, and maybe I missed it, but what are the sources of funding for your organization?
It's all individual donors, really. Luckily, we don't have government funding, so we didn't get cut. Like so many nonprofits got funding from USAID, and a lot of them went out of business, or the thousands of people that got laid off. So we are all individual donors. Some businesses, we have a real estate event, because I work in real estate and Steve works in real estate, so we have a real estate networking event that raised $100,000. We have some family foundations that give 20 to 50. We have a lot of individuals that are in that 500 to 1,000 to 5,000 or 10,000 range. So it's 400 people donating at all different levels and maybe 30 or 40 businesses. We would like to move towards some foundations that can give us 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 over 3 years, right? But with USAID going out of business, it makes that harder to get, because those grantors are trying to keep the other nonprofits alive that were relying on USAID. So we're going to really continue to expand on the individual donor base, and it gives us a lot of flexibility, and it's very dependable because it's like a stock portfolio that's diverse. We don't depend on any one or two large funders.
Well, we should let you go because the hour is up. Please remember to look at Jeff's sheets here, and please come back again next Sunday when we honor Recovery Sunday. And Cal Williams, a harm reduction specialist at the Aliveness Project, will discuss overdoses and overdose prevention, and worthwhile topic for sure. So we hope to see you again, and again, thank you so much, Jeff.